Well, hello there, how are you? I'm going to prep my face with this Musgo Real pre-shave soap. I'll be right back. In the meantime, fire up a quarantini, hopefully for the last time, and watch the pictures as they fly through the air. Hi again. My razor today is going to be this twist to open Feather Popular razor, and in there on its first use will be a Feather high stainless blade. My brush, which I've already lathered up, is going to be the Conversational Shaving G4 synthetic knot brush from Ming Lee over at Frank Shaving. This is the official brush of this channel here. And my cream is going to be the Proraso blue cream that comes in a tube like so. I've already lathered up in the Timeless Razor shaving bowl. I'm going to attempt to get a lather going on my face, and I hope you're all doing well out there. Oops, kind of flinging the lather there. Always get a pretty good lather from these Proraso creams and soaps. And I'm just sort of painting it on here. I'll get shaving here in a moment. Set the brush aside, wipe my hand off, and now I'm going to wet the razor. Okay. And we'll get started for our first pass, which will be with the grain. Here we go. Very mild razor with a very sharp blade in it. And I usually get pretty good results with this razor and blade combination. These Feather stainless blades, 2 of them came with the razor in this package here. So go over here. Some of the places closed in the quarantine here are going to be reopening in a week or so. They're going to start reopening barber shops, dentist's office, chiropractor's offices, places like that, before they open the restaurants and taverns and so forth. So I guess that's good. I hope it's not too early to begin reopening places. Excuse me. As far as this cream goes, I have some of the sandalwood Proraso cream. I already had that. And I have the menthol and eucalyptus Proraso rebranded under the C.O. Bigelow brand. I have a tube of that. This is my first tube of the blue cream. So, second time trying this, had a good experience with it the first time, which I was expecting from a Proraso product. Okay, excuse me, time to rinse the razor again. A mild yet overall pleasant scent to this cream. And the Musgo Real pre-shave soap has a very nice, bolder scent to it. But the Musgo Real pre-shave soap, I might have said cream, but the soap, it can be a little drying on the face, I guess is my main complaint about it, although it's supposed to have some oils in it. It's been literally years since I've used a feather blade in another type of razor. In fact, I just hadn't used a feather blade at all for no particular reason. I wasn't trying to avoid them, but I hadn't used them in years in any razor. But a couple came with this one when I bought it. And I had read online in the forums that these blades do indeed go well with this razor. And that's pass number 1 done. I'll come back in a moment for pass number 2. I'll be freshly lathered and we'll go across the grain. Okay, let's do that second pass across the grain here. So far, so good on this shave. I don't think I got this razor completely rinsed out, but I think it'll be okay. The blade is so sharp. Sometimes a mild razor is harder to rinse because there's less gap between the, well, where the blade sticks out, there's less blade gap. And so sometimes it's hard to get the cream, the gunk out of there. But this blade is so sharp, it should be all right. Now I'll try to rinse it a little better. Excuse me while I break away for that. About a day and a half worth of growth, and I am getting some audio feedback here. The first feather blade that came with this razor, I used it 4 times before throwing it away. I could have tried for a 5th, or maybe more shaves. But I thought I would go ahead and put a fresh blade in. 4 uses is pretty good for any double-edged blade. Except for those expensive new old stock, oops, I got a weeper there too. Those expensive new old stock Persona 74 blades, which were made to last, oh, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 shaves. Excuse me again a second. Sorry about the weeper here. Hopefully some cold water will close that up. It's kind of a micro weeper, but it's still getting bloody. Yeah, that kind of bloody spot is still there, but there was the first double-edged razor that I owned. I got at an antique shop for $4. And looking back on it, it was a Gillette twist to open, and it was kind of a brass-colored or brass-plated super speed. Might have even been gold-plated, I don't know. I got it very inexpensively, and it didn't come with its original box or case or whatever, but looking back on it, it might have been a Milord, Gillette Milord razor, possibly. I ended up leaving that somewhere. It's a long story. If that is what it was, that was a pretty good deal on a Gillette Milord razor. I think some good metal polish would have brightened that razor up quite a bit and made it look at least closer to what it originally was in its appearance. Maybe not perfect. Maybe there would have still been some water spotting or what have you, but I think I could have made it look better. I'm going to pop out again, come right back, and then we'll do that third pass against the grain. Okay, that last pass, which was supposed to be across the grain everywhere, I guess I did some of that against the grain, so I don't know if I should go across the grain again, or I'll just continue. I'll go against the grain like I'm supposed to be doing on this pass. Hopefully there'll be no harm done. Or I can do a little bit of across the grain here like I was supposed to do. I guess I was trying to explain something else. I was thinking about my first razor I ever had, and that was the one that when a friend that got me into this hobby, when he gave me a bunch of blades, a sample of one or two of each of several different brands of blades, I was not impressed with the feather blade in that first double-edged razor I had. That was in 2012, so it was almost 8 years ago, going on the 8-year anniversary, which will be sometime this year, of me doing this kind of wet shaving. Excuse me again. Let's see. Yeah, I went kind of across the grain on my neck. I'm going to need to fix some of that in pickups or touch-ups. But so far, a pretty nice shave. A little bit rushed on my part because I'm trying not to run over time. I like to get these shaves in at least within 30 minutes after editing. I like the video to be at least a little bit under 30 minutes, preferably not much more than 20 minutes. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I rinsed that all right. I'll kind of go across and against the grain here. For some gentlemen, going in the direction that I would call against the grain, for them that might, due to the nature of their hair growth on their chin, their neck, that might actually be across the grain for them, what would be against the grain for some of the rest of us. So, anyway. whatever is most comfortable for the individual. In other words, whatever works best for you. You can experiment, you can try all manner of different techniques. But your skin and your hair growth are ultimately, I believe, going to dictate how you shave. And things that will work for me might not work for you, and vice versa. Okay, I'm going to pop out, pop back in, I'm going to lather this area, and then it will be pickup time, baby. Well, I do tend to get some weepers with this razor and blade combination. In fact, I could almost swear that when I used a feather blade and a twist-to-open Gillette razor years ago, that I actually got fewer weepers, even though that razor was probably more aggressive than this one. Anyway, here's the crazy clock. It's pickup time, ladies and gentlemen. It's pickup time, baby. That's right. Pickups or touch-ups. Here we go. You would think that with a blade like this, I would get BBS, baby bottom smooth. I don't know if I'll get that this time or not. We'll see. The very mild or mildness of this razor is supposed to mitigate the sharpness, the aggression of a feather blade. And of course the razor is also made by feather. But except for the fact that it seems like even with a fairly light touch, this razor and blade combination will give me little weepers, especially up in this area here. I'm going to rinse the razor one more time here. And then let's see. I'll try to get some of these trouble spots here without digging in too deeply or going too crazy. I don't know how well another blade would work with this razor, because this razor is so mild that you would think it would almost require a very sharp blade. I still hear, you may not be able to hear it, but in certain places I still am getting audio feedback here. I'm having trouble getting this one trouble spot over here by my ear along the jawline. That's better, but it seems like I'm having to work for it. Whereas if I use a certain slant razor of mine, it often gets those trouble spots the first time I go over them. It gets them BBS. I guess I can go ahead and tell you that razor to which I am referring is my Merkur 37C slant razor. I get very good results with that, especially along the contour of my jawline and the trouble spots kind of under my ears and certain places on the neck. Because that is a slant razor and pretty well built, I don't have many slant razors. In fact, I think I've only got two. And the other is an open comb that is kind of aggressive for me. But this isn't too bad. I'm still hearing some audio feedback over here and feeling some stubble, not a lot. This is already a DFS, a darn fine shave. it's already that. And then it just kind of depends, I guess, on how crazy you want to go, how much time you want to take, and how much irritation or possible irritation you want to risk as far as trying to perfect a shave like that. But I believe I'll stop there, and I'll come back. I'm going to rinse the razor, rinse my brush, and rinse my face in the bowl, and I'll come back and we'll visit with our good friend Mr. Towel. Here's our good friend Mr. Towel. Whew. Ah, very nice. Mr. Towel is also soft as a baby's bottom. Feels good. Not a perfect shave, but a pretty nice one, especially since I kind of rushed parts of it. I'm going to put Mr. Towel back where he goes and begin a brief recap, and then I'll put the finishing touches on this here shave. Okay, there's Mr. Towel back where he goes. Well, beforehand, I've got the soap still wet and laying on the counter, but there's its label. I prep my face off camera with the Musgo Real pre-shave soap, the classic kind. My razor has been this twist to open feather popular razor, and in there on its first use was a feather high stainless blade. My brush has been the synthetic conversational shaving brush from Frank Shaving with the very nice G4 synthetic knot. And, excuse me, my shaving cream has been the Proraso blue shaving cream. And I lathered in the Timeless Razor shaving bowl. And let's see, I don't think I'm forgetting anything, so now I'm going to apply some of the Dickinson's Witch Hazel. We'll pop that open, pour some in my hand here, a generous amount, set that aside. I think I still got a weeper going on there, I'm not sure. I did apply cold water to my face when I was rinsing. If need be, I'll put some alum on it afterwards. But it's getting some alcohol on it now, since this Dickinson's Witch Hazel is 14% alcohol by volume, making it an astringent and not a toner. Excuse me. Sorry about that. And let's see. Next, I would like to apply my aftershave. It's going to be this Spanish Williams Aqua Velva aftershave, which still comes in a glass bottle and is supposed to be closer to the original formula of Aqua Velva. Having a little trouble getting the cap off here. Oh man. Oh, there it is. I thought I was going to have to cut away while I went and got a screwdriver or something, but I'll put some of that in my hand too. Set that bottle aside. Get that going a little on the wrists, on the temples, behind the ears, back of the neck. I got some sunshine today too, so my face may be all the more sensitive for that. I wore a cap though, so hopefully the bill of the cap kept my face and the top of my bald head from getting too much sunshine. And I'll put the cap back on the Spanish version of Aqua Velva, still with the Williams name on it. And finally, I'll finish up with this Proraso blue aftershave balm. that goes well with the cream. So get some of that in my hand here, and I may have to get more of that soon. Get that going. That will hopefully put some of the moisture back into my skin, because it's been a bit of a trying day for my skin. And not a perfect shave, not the kind of shave I like to get every day, but something that, since I felt I rushed it a little bit, not too bad, I feel like it turned out being a pretty good shave, and far better, I'm sure, than anything I would get with, say, a disposable and a can of goo. Well, that's about it, folks. I'm wiping the hand off here one more time. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to edit this thing and get it posted. I'll see you soon, and to all of you out there, may you have peace.